Should migrants be worried or even start having a plan B? These are more questions that a lot of people are asking, especially after the results of last week's election in the UK. So why are people asking these questions? I'll tell you in today's video, so stay tuned. My name is Tochi and welcome to my channel. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up as you're watching so YouTube can recommend it to more people, and kindly share it to everyone that needs to watch this. In fact, every migrant in the UK needs to see this. So all my returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. You're welcome back to this video. If you're yet to subscribe, please click the subscribe button right now. Thank you. Last week, after the elections in the UK, Reform Party gained more seats in the local councils. And a lot of people are now saying, oh, what should we now expect as migrants? Because we know that Reform UK has so many strong plans for migration and for migrants. So different parties obviously have their manifestos, their plans, their agendas, and what they plan to achieve when they get into office. Currently, the Labour government is in power, and for last week's election, Reform won so many seats in the local councils. The leader of the Reform Party was talking after the elections. He said this is a big win that should be celebrated in the history of the UK. Because if I look at it, guys, he said, oh, truly, it's a truly historic shift in British politics. This has occurred after Reform UK won hundreds of seats and took control of more councils in England. Now, this is not the general election, we must note that, and it doesn't mean that anything would change, right? The Labour Party is still in government, except he decides to call for an election earlier than it's scheduled for. Now, Labour is still in charge, Labour is still in power in the UK, except they decide to call for an election earlier than expected and all of that. But Labour government is still very much in power in the UK, okay? So after the elections and the results were announced, people have been saying so many things, especially regarding the fact that Reform UK has been very loud about their immigration plans. Like, their plans for migrants, for immigration is just crazy, guys. Let me show you some of them. And that is why people have been making comments on X, on Instagram. You know, immigration lawyers have been talking, migrants have been worried. But before anybody panics, just know that they're not yet in power. They just gained more seats in the local elections. They have more councillors now and everything. But that's just about it. So let me quickly show you guys some of the plans that Reform UK has for migrants and for immigration. So guys, before I continue, I just have one question to ask. Have you downloaded LemFi? And if you have, are you still using LemFi to send money back home? For those who haven't, LemFi is a reliable app that you can use to send money to your loved ones instantly, zero charges, zero transfer fees, and the recipient receives the money immediately you send it. And guess what, guys? Right now, there's a promo going on. If you send £2,000 or more in a single transaction from now till the 22nd of May, you stand a chance of winning 3 months groceries. Now imagine staying in your home and just receiving free groceries for 3 whole months, considering how expensive food is getting right now. So you don't want to miss this opportunity. This is your time to win. Winners will be selected randomly. So just send £2,000 or more in a single transaction to your loved ones back home. And remember, the more you send, the higher your chances of winning. I wish you guys all the best. And for those who haven't downloaded LemFi yet, I honestly don't know what you're waiting for. You're missing out. So please download LemFi today, and you can use my code TOCHI to get a discount. Now back to the video. So Reform has announced it will abolish the right of migrants to qualify for permanent settlement in the UK after 5 years, if the party wins the next election. So one of their plans for immigration is that they're going to scrap indefinite leave to remain. You know that Labour Party currently is saying, or the current government has plans or has announced that they are planning to shift ILR, time for ILR, from 5 years to 10 years for some people, and then to 15 years for some others, and for some others 20 years. But Reform UK is saying that they're not even planning to extend the time at all. Their plan is to scrap it totally, that there's not going to be anything like indefinite leave to remain for immigrants. People will keep renewing visas and renewing visas until probably you're tired of staying in the UK, and then you now have to leave voluntarily. That was what they said. So Under these plans, migrants would need to reapply for new visas with tougher rules, and reform would abolish indefinite leave to remain, which gives people rights and access to benefits. And there's something I also observed. I don't know if you guys noticed this thing, and a lot of people have also brought it out after the result of the last election, right? Last year, after reform had come out to say their plans regarding immigration, what they're going to do concerning ILR, how they want to abolish it, how they want to, everything, all these things that they said last year. And the other party, the Conservative Party, also came out to say their plans, if they eventually win the elections, what they're going to do, their plans for immigration, for ILR and everything. You know what happened? The Labour Party now came out, because they're the ones in power right now. They now came out to announce their plans for ILR, how they want to extend the time for ILR, how they want to stop people from getting benefits when they have ILR. You cannot access benefits until after you become a British citizen, and so they now put new conditions for indefinite leave to remain, tighten immigration the more, increase Irish threshold, and did a lot of things, said a lot of things and did a lot of things, So what does this tell you? It just goes a long way to show that these people are playing politics with innocent people, with legal migrants, okay? And when they are talking like this, it just seems like as a migrant that you have committed an offense. Like, what offense have one committed? When did it become a crime to relocate to a new country, to move and live in a new country? When? And to go illegally. Okay, I'm not talking about illegal migrants here. I don't have any business with that. I'm talking about legal migrants, people that move to the UK legally, apply for work visas, for study visas, meet all the requirements, have all the skills, qualifications required, write all the exams, everything, apply for visas legally, and then move. Since when did that become a problem? They tend to blame the problems of the UK and everything on immigrants. Even when reports show that legal migrants, these trained professionals, are contributing so much more to the UK economy. Last week, we just saw when Reform Party came out to talk about, granting student loans to students, right? And that they're going to stop it because it's going to save the UK billions. And then how many students, international students, actually access benefits, access student loans? Because before you come into the UK to study, you're going to get admission first of all. And then you're going to show proof of funds, that you have enough funds to maintain yourself as a student in the UK. And then paying your school fees as an international student is not cheap. It's in thousands of pounds. And finally, to wrap it all up, you are not entitled to benefits, to public funds as an international student. So you can't even apply for loan. You can't access it. Your visa type does not allow you to do so. So you see, these are times when we're supposed to be talking about how much you pay as a student, as an international student, how much in thousands that you pay and show as proof of funds. And when those narratives are pushed, they just keep pushing it. The media keeps pushing it, the wrong narratives, because we as legal migrants that apply for, to come to study, that apply to work, we're not even saying exactly how much we're contributing or what exactly is the right thing. The wrong narratives are pushing out, and that is why people actually think that this is true. But for legal migrants, it is not true. We don't have access to benefits. So all those houses they're talking about, it is not for legal migrants. We can't even access it. Our visa types does not allow. If you do it, you're even going to be punished. When you're applying for ILR or something, the government even said it, that if you access benefits when you're not supposed to, they will extend your time for ILR. Every money we make, every house we buy or live in, we do that from the money we make working so hard. And this is something that they don't understand. Guys, I guess it is what it is, because when two elephants fight, who suffers? The grasses, So when politicians are, doing all this political tussle, doing everything, migrants suffer it. And it just feels like they don't really have any other things to talk about except immigration. So that was what happened at the time. And we don't even know if it's going to happen again. Now that Reform has one more seat, so fingers crossed, let's see what will happen in the next couple of days and weeks. And they also said they're going to replace ILR with visas that force migrants to reapply every 5 years. And this includes hundreds of thousands of migrants currently in the UK. So everything they are doing, they're going to apply retrospectively. It's going to affect everybody already in the UK. So this is what reform is saying. And they're also going to increase salary threshold for skilled worker visa and the standard of English. We're even complaining about what it is now. Reform said they're going to increase it, they're going to make it even higher. So people even asked him, do you think these policies are fair? And guess what he said? That it is no fair play for British people who have been priced out of the market by endless cheap foreign labor. And he has also accepted the policy will split families and remove people integrated into their communities. But that's why we're giving people advance notice of what's coming. So can you hear? That's why they're giving people advance notice of what's coming, so that you can plan ahead, you can make plan B, you can decide whether you want to leave or whether you want to stay, so that you can understand, you won't be taken unawares, it won't take you by surprise. This is how they are. What you see is what you get, that's what they tell us. So their plans are very crazy. They also said that they will introduce a new scheme called acute skill shortage visas for jobs in crisis. Under the scheme, firms can hire one worker from abroad only if they train one at home. They will also increase the time for citizenship from 6 years to 7. And this is what Guardian have said about this just recently. It said that Reform UK's immigration policies are a significant risk to the UK economy, right? So everybody knows exactly what their plans are, their immigration policies. So they are now saying that it's a risk that health workers are going to leave the UK especially. And not only that, it's now going to affect the NHS, the healthcare service. Is going to affect the UK economy because migrants contribute so much to the economy. They're saying that the number of people affected by Reform UK's policies is necessarily uncertain. But it has been estimated that the party might want at least 2 million people to leave the country, which is considerably higher than previous talk of deporting 600,000 people. Now, minority ethnic NHS doctors and nurses already report that they encounter increased levels of racism at work. Home Office numbers show a steep decline in the number of foreign nurses granted entry into the UK over the past 3 years. And this is because the Labour Party have been trying to bring down immigration numbers just to prove to people that, oh, we're still in charge, we're doing everything possible to make sure that immigration numbers come down. And Reform and Conservative, they are on the other hand saying, oh, Labour, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. And Labour on their own part is trying to say, oh, we are doing enough. And this is the result you get. So a Reform UK government might prove to be a tipping point and cause a mini exodus. You know what that means, right? So the loss of existing experienced staff will be much more damaging. And associated rise in NHS waiting lists we have increased. There'll be labor shortages across different sectors, which will affect the economy. It might also push inflation up. Other sectors will be affected as well. And, they said they have experienced a collapse in visas for foreign-born workers in the care sector. And they've seen this is what is happening right now. So imagine if Reform now comes into office with all these their plans that they have. What do you think will happen? Things will get worse. They're also saying that some UK businessmen and entrepreneurs are already even planning to build their businesses outside the UK if this happens, because they are scared on how these reform policies would affect UK economy, their businesses and everything. So the London property market might no longer be regarded as such a safe haven. We could also see an adverse impact on the number of tourists. Direct foreign investment could suffer, when something sitting in corporate headquarters in Japan or India is making a decision to invest in the UK, they might be less keen to locate some of their key staff here or travel to this country themselves. So imagine when, migrants are no longer working in the country, people can no longer come to invest because they don't have their staff here to control things. So it's just crazy, guys. So this is why this article or this person is warning and saying, oh, Reform UK's immigration policies there is significant risk to the UK economy, so that people should understand what's coming and think about their actions, their decisions, their votes. Think, understand before you vote. So what I would say is, before you vote for any party, I think you should research on what their plans are. you know, how it's going to affect you, how it's going to benefit you. You know, besides, they have their manifestos, everything, all their plans, their proposals, everything is online. If you go online now and look for that of the Conservative Party, you would see it. If you look for that of the Labour Party, you would see them. If you look for that of Reform, all other parties, Green Party, you will see all of them. So it's good to just research and understand what they are proposing, what they are planning before you cast your vote. It's very, very important to understand what you're voting for. So yes, guys, this is it for today's video. Any other thing that comes up, trust me to let you guys know. I want to hear what you think as well in the comment section. So thank you everyone for watching this video. I'll see you all in my next one. Bye bye.